Your kindness is killing you. Right now, as you're watching this, someone you helped last week is plotting how to use you next month. Someone you trusted completely is calculating whether keeping you around still benefits them. And the coworker you trained, they just got the promotion you deserved. You thought being good was the strategy. You thought playing fair would eventually pay off. You thought the universe kept score. Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher who went insane from seeing reality too clearly, spent his final lucid years trying to warn humanity about one terrifying truth. The world belongs to the ruthless. It always has, it always will, and every moral system telling you otherwise was designed by winners to keep you losing. He called it slave morality, a psychological prison that convinces you to chain yourself while calling it virtue. And in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how this prison was built, who benefits from keeping you locked inside, and why the moment you escape it, everything in your life will change. Because here's what nobody tells you. The people at the top aren't smarter than you. They're not luckier. They're not more talented. They just figured out one thing you haven't. Morality is a weapon used against you, not a code the powerful actually follow. And once you see it, you can never unsee it. Let me describe your life as it stands right now. And if I'm wrong, you can leave. But if I'm right, everything you thought you knew about success is about to collapse. You work harder than most people around you. You show up on time. You deliver quality. You help others without expecting anything back. You're the person people come to when they need something. The reliable one, the good one, the one who does the right thing. And where has that gotten you? You watch people with half your talent climb past you. You see manipulators get promoted. You watch liars build empires while you're stuck explaining why you deserve basic respect. You've been told your entire life that good things come to those who wait, that hard work pays off, that what goes around comes around. It's all a lie. And deep down, you know it, because you've seen it. The narcissist who destroyed your last relationship is now happily engaged. The coworker who took credit for your work just got a raise. The friend who ghosted you when you needed the most is thriving on social media. The business that screwed over its customers is more successful than ever. Meanwhile, you're sitting here wondering what you're doing wrong. Here's the answer: nothing. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just playing a game nobody told you was rigged. Nietzsche saw this in the 1880s. He watched as the most virtuous people lived miserable lives, while the most ruthless shaped civilization. And instead of comforting himself with fantasies about karma or divine justice, he asked the question nobody wanted to answer. What if the good guys aren't supposed to win? What if morality itself is a trap designed to keep certain people powerless? Let me show you what he discovered. And I'm warning you now, once you understand this, you'll never look at good people the same way again, including yourself. Nietzsche grew up in a world drowning in Christian morality. Humility, sacrifice, turning the other cheek, blessed are the meek, love your enemies, give without expecting anything in return. Beautiful ideas, right? Noble, pure, the foundation of Western civilization. And then Nietzsche asked one simple question that destroyed everything. Who benefits from a morality that tells people to be weak? Think about it. Really think about it. If you're a king, what's the best way to control millions of people who could easily overthrow you? You could use force, but that's expensive, exhausting, and eventually people rebel. Or you could do something far more elegant. Convince them that being powerless is virtuous. Tell them that suffering is noble, that poverty brings them closer to God. Accepting their place in life is spiritual wisdom, that wanting more is sinful, that challenging authority is evil. And here's the genius part: make them police each other. The moment someone tries to rise, to claim power, to refuse their assigned role, they have their own neighbors call them arrogant, selfish, evil. Have them internalize the guilt themselves. Have them sabotage their own success because they've been programmed to believe that winning makes them a bad person. This is what Nietzsche called slave morality, and it's the most sophisticated control system ever invented. Let me prove it to you with history. Rome. For centuries, Christianity was illegal and persecuted. Why? Because Roman emperors understood that Christian morality, the meek shall inherit the earth, it's harder for a rich man to enter heaven than a camel through a needle's eye, was dangerous to power structures. It taught people that their suffering had meaning, that they shouldn't fight for earthly power. But then something interesting happened. Constantine converted Rome to Christianity in 312 AD. Why would the most powerful man in the world adopt a religion that preached humility and sacrifice? Because he realized it was the perfect tool for controlling a population. Once Christianity became the state religion, suddenly the very morality that resisted Rome became the morality that stabilized Rome. The peasants stopped rebelling because suffering became holy. The slaves stopped fighting because their reward would come in heaven. The exploited stopped demanding justice because forgiveness was now the highest virtue. The powerful stayed powerful. The powerless stayed powerless. Everyone called it good. Fast forward to today, same game, different costume. Your boss tells you to be a team player, which means work extra hours without extra pay. Your company preaches loyalty, which means stay underpaid while they cut costs. Society tells you to be humble, which means don't negotiate, don't demand, don't make others uncomfortable by claiming your worth. And when someone breaks these rules, when someone demands more, takes credit, plays politics, refuses to be exploited, they get called toxic, narcissistic, difficult, arrogant. But they also get promoted. Because here's what Nietzsche saw that most people miss. The people preaching morality don't follow it themselves. They just need you to follow it so they can keep winning. The CEO telling you to sacrifice for the company has a golden parachute worth millions. The politician preaching humility lives in a mansion. The influencer selling you authenticity has a team crafting every post. The friend telling you to let it go would never tolerate the disrespect they're asking you to accept. Nietzsche called this the morality of the herd, rules designed to keep the masses docile while the wolves run free. And the brutal part? You're enforcing your own prism. Every time you feel guilty for wanting more, you're activating your programming. Every time you call someone selfish for setting boundaries, you're doing the work of your oppressors for free. Every time you choose to be the bigger person instead of demanding respect, you're volunteering to lose. Say this affirmation out loud. Type it in the comments. I reject the morality that was designed to keep me powerless. My ambition is not selfishness. My strength is not arrogance. I will no longer apologize for wanting to win. Say it again. Feel how wrong it feels. That discomfort, that's the cage. And we're about to break it wide open.
Now let's talk about what Nietzsche called master morality, the morality of people who actually win. While slave morality says, I am good because I suffer and sacrifice, master morality says something completely different. I am good because I am powerful, creative, and strong. Weakness is not a virtue, it's just weakness. This isn't about being evil, it's about being honest. The lion doesn't feel guilty for killing the gazelle. The eagle doesn't apologize for being a predator. Nature has no morality, it has hierarchy. The strong take, the weak submit, and every creature that survives understands this instinctively. Except humans. We've been taught to override our instincts, to feel shame about our nature, to pretend we're above the food chain when we're absolutely still in it. And the people who refuse to pretend, they inherit the earth. Let me show you how this plays out in the real world. Steve Jobs. Everyone loves to celebrate him now. Visionary, genius, revolutionary. But while he was alive, he was called ruthless, cruel, a tyrant. He fired people in elevators, he stole credit, he manipulated reality to get what he wanted. And you know what? He changed the world. Not because he was nice, because he was relentless. He had a vision and he refused to compromise it for anyone's comfort. He understood something most people don't. Nice people don't build empires, they build resentments. Elon Musk. Right now, depending on who you ask, he's either saving humanity or destroying democracy. But here's what's undeniable. He doesn't care what you think. He fires thousands without hesitation. He breaks norms. He mocks his critics publicly. He plays by his own rules. And he's reshaping 3 industries simultaneously. Jeff Bezos built Amazon by crushing competitors, squeezing suppliers, and working employees to exhaustion. Is he evil? Depends on who you ask. Is he winning? Absolutely. Now compare that to your most moral friend, the one who's always there for everyone, the one who sacrifices constantly, the one who never puts themselves first. How's their life going? I'm not saying this to be cruel. I'm saying it because Nietzsche's observation was accurate. The moral person and the successful person are rarely the same. Why? Because success requires what morality forbids: selfishness, saying no, prioritizing your goals over others' comfort, manipulation, knowing what people want to hear and using it strategically. Ruthlessness, cutting people off who drain you, taking credit, playing politics. Deception, not lying, but controlling information, letting people believe what benefits you. You've been taught these are sins. Nietzsche said these are tools, and refusing to use them while your competitors wield them freely is why you're stuck while they're ascending. Here's where it gets really dark, and this is the part most people can't handle. Good people finish last because goodness is a handicap in a game where everyone else is cheating. Think about it. The honest employee who reports problems gets labeled a troublemaker. The one who hides them and takes credit for solutions gets promoted. The friend who's always available gets taken for granted. The one who's busy and selective gets chased. The person who admits mistakes gets blamed. The one who deflects and points fingers keeps their reputation. The moral person who follows the rules loses to the strategic person who rewrites them. This is why Nietzsche said, "God is dead and we killed him." He wasn't being edgy. He was saying, once you realize morality is man-made, that it's a tool, not a truth, you're free to create your own values. But here's the terrifying part most people miss. When Nietzsche said create your own values, he didn't mean become a psychopath. He meant stop letting other people's morality control your life. The company that underpays you while demanding loyalty, they created that value system to benefit themselves. The relationship where you give 80% and get 20%, they created that dynamic because you accepted it. The society that tells you to be humble while others take everything, they created that rule to keep competition down. And you've been following rules that were designed to make you lose. Type this in the comments. I will no longer sacrifice my success on the altar of someone else's comfort. Power is not given, it is taken.
All right, let's get tactical, because philosophy without application is just entertainment. Nietzsche identified something he called the will to power. Not the will to dominate others necessarily, but the will to impose your reality on the world, instead of accepting someone else's. Most people are NPCs, non-playable characters. They follow the script they were given. Go to school, get a job, be grateful for what you have, don't make waves, retire at 65, if you're lucky. They live entirely reactive lives. The world happens to them. They adapt, they cope, they survive, but they never shape reality. Now look at the people you admire, the ones who actually change things. What do they have in common? They rewrote the script. They decided the rules didn't apply to them. They saw a world that said, "This is how things are," and responded with, "Not for me." Henry Ford saw a world that said workers should own their means of production. He said, "No, I'll pay them enough to buy my cars and create the middle class." He rewrote capitalism. Oprah saw a world that said black women from poverty don't become billionaire media moguls. She said, "Watch me." She rewrote the possible. Nietzsche would call this self-overcoming, the ability to transcend your current limitations, not by accepting them, but by refusing to be defined by them. But here's where most people fail when they try to apply this. They think being ruthless means being an asshole. They think rejecting slave morality means becoming cruel. Wrong. The true master of power is strategic, not sadistic. Let me break down the actual tactics. Tactic 1. Weaponize morality, don't submit to it. The powerful don't reject morality, they use it. They know exactly when to invoke fairness, loyalty, and ethics when it benefits them. And they know exactly when to ignore it when it doesn't. Example: your boss demands loyalty from you, but lays off hundreds when it helps the stock price. That's not hypocrisy, that's strategy. They're using moral language to control your behavior while remaining free themselves. You can do the same. When someone tries to guilt you into sacrificing, "After everything I've done for you," you respond, "And I'm grateful, but I have to do what's right for my growth." You've just used moral language, gratitude, doing what's right, to enforce a boundary. Tactic 2. Create scarcity of yourself. Nietzsche observed that which is always available becomes worthless. The person who's always free, always giving, always there, gets taken for granted. The selective person, who has boundaries, whose time is valuable, gets respected. This applies everywhere. The employee who works weekends without being asked gets more work, not more pay. The friend who drops everything gets called last, not first. The romantic partner who's always available gets cheated on, not cherished. Tactic 3. Master the appearance of morality. This is the nuclear option. The most powerful people aren't amoral. They appear more moral than everyone else while operating ruthlessly behind the scenes. Politicians are masters at this. They preach family values while destroying families with policy. They champion the working class while taking corporate money. They appear virtuous while executing a brutal strategy. You should do the same. Be publicly generous while privately calculating. Appear collaborative while advancing your agenda. Seem humble while building your empire. Tactic 4. Never reveal your full power. Nietzsche said, "The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly." The mistake most people make when they gain power is showing it off. They want recognition, validation, for everyone to know they won. This creates enemies. The true master keeps some cards hidden, appear weaker than they are, lets others underestimate them. Because the moment people see your full power, they start strategizing how to take it.
But here's where we need to talk about the danger, because Nietzsche's philosophy has destroyed as many people as it's liberated. Julius Caesar, Alexander the Great, Napoleon, Steve Jobs, they all fell, not because they were weak, because power without wisdom is a ticking time bomb. Caesar was so focused on consolidating power, he didn't see the conspiracy forming around him. Brutus stabbed him to death in the Senate. The man he treated like a son. Napoleon's ambition blinded him. He invaded Russia in winter because he refused to accept limitations. His grand army was destroyed. He died in exile. Jobs' ruthlessness alienated everyone close to him. He died estranged from his daughter, regretting his relational failures. The pattern is clear. Ruthless people win, but ruthless people without self-awareness destroy themselves. This is what Nietzsche called the abyss. He wrote, "Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster. And if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you." Translation: the tactics that bring you power can corrupt you if you're not careful. The morality you rejected to gain freedom can leave you isolated if you don't build your own code. So here's the balance Nietzsche actually preached, but most people miss. Reject slave morality, but create your own master morality. Don't let society tell you what's right, but don't descend into nihilistic chaos either. Build your own code, your own values, your own line you won't cross. Maybe for you that's, "I'll be ruthless in business but loyal to my family." Maybe it's, "I'll manipulate systems but never individuals who trust me." Maybe it's, "I'll take what I want but never from those weaker than me." The specifics don't matter. What matters is this: you consciously choose your morality instead of unconsciously accepting what was programmed into you. Because here's the final truth Nietzsche saw: the people who win without self-destruction are the ones who understand power is a tool, not an identity. They use ruthlessness when necessary, but they don't become ruthlessness itself. They reject others' rules, but they don't reject the idea of rules entirely. They play the game, but they don't let the game play them.
All right, we've gone deep into philosophy, history, and psychology. Now, let's make this immediately actionable. Here's exactly what you do starting today. Step 1. Audit your relationships for power dynamics. Go through every major relationship. Who benefits more? Who sets the terms? Who sacrifices more? Who's more afraid of loss? Whoever's more afraid of losing the relationship has less power. If that's you in most relationships, you are living in slave morality. Step 2. Identify where you're self-sabotaging with goodness. Where are you being good at your own expense? Staying late at work unpaid? Helping friends who never reciprocate? Avoiding conflict to keep the peace? Not negotiating because it feels greedy? Every time you choose goodness over strategy, you're choosing to lose. Step 3. Practice selective ruthlessness. You don't need to become cruel. You need to become strategic. Start small. Say no to one request this week without over-explaining. Take credit for something you actually did instead of deflecting. Set one boundary with someone who's been crossing it. Stop responding immediately to people who don't respect your time. Watch what happens. The right people will respect you more. The wrong people will be offended. Both outcomes benefit you. Step 4. Build your personal code. Write down your actual values, not the ones you were taught, the ones you actually believe. For example, always put others first. Take care of myself so I can help others from strength, not depletion. Never be selfish. Prioritize my goals, then help others when it doesn't cost me my success. Forgive everyone. Forgive those who deserve it, remove those who don't. Step 5. Accept that good people will judge you. This is the hardest part. When you stop being the nice person, people will notice. They'll call you changed, selfish, cold. Let them. Because here's what Nietzsche understood. Those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. The people judging you are still in the prison you're escaping. They need you to stay trapped so they don't feel alone in their own cage. Your freedom threatens their comfort. Your success exposes their excuses. Your transformation reveals their stagnation. They will try to pull you back. Nietzsche called this the revenge of the weak. They can't rise to your level, so they'll try to drag you down to theirs. Ignore them. Keep moving.
So here's where we are. You now understand what took Nietzsche decades to discover and cost him his sanity. The game is rigged. The rules are fake. The morality you were taught is a control mechanism, and the people winning aren't better than you. They just stopped playing by rules that were designed to make them lose. You have two choices now. Choice 1, reject everything you just learned. Go back to being good. Keep sacrificing. Keep hoping karma will eventually reward you. Keep waiting for the universe to recognize your virtue. And in 10 years, you'll still be exactly where you are now, watching other people win while you wonder why being good isn't enough. Choice 2, accept Nietzsche's truth. Reject slave morality. Build your own code. Become strategically ruthless. Stop apologizing for wanting to win. And in 10 years, you'll be unrecognizable, powerful, free, and surrounded by people who respect you instead of using you. The people at the top aren't better than you. They just understand something you're only now learning. Morality is a weapon. And the question isn't whether you'll use it. The question is whether you'll keep letting it be used against you. Nietzsche went insane staring at this truth too long without looking away. But he left us the map. He showed us that the Übermensch, the overman, the person who transcends, isn't someone who rejects all morality. It's someone who creates their own. You don't have to be cool, but you can't afford to be naive. You don't have to be evil, but you can't keep being a volunteer victim. You don't have to become a monster, but you have to stop being prey. Final affirmation. Say it, type it. I am not a slave to other people's morality. I am not guilty of wanting power. I will no longer sacrifice my greatness for someone else's comfort. The world belongs to those who refuse to bow. If this video changed how you see everything, hit that like button right now. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because what we're building here isn't just a channel. It's a movement of people who refuse to keep losing while playing by rigged rules.
And immediately after this, go watch the video on screen about Machiavelli's truth about human nature, because what you just learned about power is only half the equation. The other half is understanding human psychology so deeply that you can predict and control outcomes before they happen. The philosophical foundation is built. Now let's weaponize it.